Good morning. Welcome to QuickBooks Premier Financial Software 2014. My name is Denise McGee, and I'll be presenting this material to you. I founded Quality Consulting Group in 1997 and remain the president of Quality Consulting Group. We have offices in Tampa, Temple Terrace, San Diego, and Chicago. I have been a QuickBooks user and certified since the late 90s. I became a user in 1997 and became certified in 1999 through the ProAdvisor program at Intuit. Since then, I've been recognized as a Intuit Trainer Writer Network member. What we do is we go and train on behalf of Intuit at either conferences or private functions. People that Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks, have asked us to go train. Also, I spent a 3-year term. I just completed my 3-year term as an elected advisory council member under Intuit's the reseller program. And part of that program is to help other programs evolve, and as well as helping the product evolve. We also have serviced well over 2,400 customers, and we have currently a staff of 8 people. So I train. We do consulting, we're sales, so we run the full spectrum of, we're using QuickBooks. Just a little bit of an overview of what we're going to be covering. This demonstration is going to be done in, again, it's the Premier, this is going to be the Accountants Edition 2014. We're going to be using a couple different company files, and we're going to be using primarily a sample company file that's provided by QuickBooks, by the makers, by Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks. And also, just a slight disclaimer, we're filming this product 2 weeks post-production of the release for QuickBooks. So there might be some things that you see in this training that you may not see in your edition as things start to evolve with the QuickBooks 2014 product. Just a slight overview of what we're going to be covering. First of all, we're going to look at the different editions of QuickBooks so you can get just an overall view, because you might have a different edition than what we're teaching in. We're going to look at some terminology, because part of understanding QuickBooks is understanding some basic terminology. Also getting you familiar and comfortable with navigation around in QuickBooks, looking at some of the tools and preferences. Understanding lists. There's a lot of lists that are composed in QuickBooks, so understanding the different lists that you'll be using. Working with sales transactions and expense transactions, payroll, reports, and so much more. First, the edition of QuickBooks. The smallest edition that you can get now is the QuickBooks Pro. It's standard accounting for service-type businesses, and it allows 1 to 3 simultaneous users. The second edition, which is what we're going to be working in today, is the QuickBooks Premier Edition. It has industry-specific editions such as nonprofit, contractor, wholesale manufacturing, etc. It also allows for sales orders and better managing of inventory, and it allows 1 through 5 users. QuickBooks Enterprise Solutions is the 3rd level up, and that allows anywhere, first of all, has all the features of Pro and Premier, and it also allows from 1 user to 30 users. It has advanced inventory functions that are available for extra charge. It also allows you to manage the fixed assets, allows multi-company reporting, and so much more. There's the QuickBooks for Mac, which is pretty much the same thing as the QuickBooks Pro, but it's on the Mac platform, and it allows 1 through 5 users. The last but not least is the QuickBooks Online, and it allows you anywhere access from anywhere online. It allows 1 to 5 simultaneous users based on the subscription that you pay for. But the limitation is that it's a web-based system, so anytime you go to a different screen, you're refreshing the screen that you have. You can't go back to the prior screen like you can in all the other editions. So it doesn't keep these active windows open like you have in your other editions. Some of the basic accounting terms that we're going to cover. Really, there's 7 major account types in QuickBooks, and they're separated by the balance sheet, which we'll talk a little bit more when we get into the product. But we have the balance sheet has your assets, your liabilities, and your equity. So let's break down your assets. Your assets in QuickBooks are your cash accounts, your accounts receivable accounts, any prepaid accounts that you have. Liabilities might be notes payable that you owe, maybe a car loan or a building loan. And equity accounts are going to be your retained earnings, which is your prior year's net income, and also your current year's income. It also might be capital stock that you have. Next is the profit and loss. There are 5 major accounts for the profit and loss. We have income, cost of goods sold, expenses, other income, and other expenses. And I indicated there were 7 major account types. Actually, there's 8. Looking at counting, there's actually 8. Under the income, you have, of course, your general income. Cost of goods sold. Cost of goods sold are going to be the items that you resell. It's really the cost of the items that you're purchasing for resale. So for example, you buy a widget at 50 cents and you sell it for $1, your cost of goods sold for that sale is 50 cents. Your income is $1, which of course would leave you your gross profit of 50 cents. But that's to give you an idea of what the cost is. It's whatever it's costing you to produce that, that income. The expenses are typically your overhead expenses, anything like rent, utilities, telephone, again, all of your overhead expenses. The other income and other expenses, other income can be something like maybe interest income that you don't want to classify as regular income. That's usually what other income is. Or maybe if you're part of a state that gets a sales tax credit every month for making that sales tax payment, you can then put that to other income. Other expense might be maybe you buy a vehicle and you sell it and you had more of a loss of the sale. So it's a sale gain or loss of an asset might be another expense. It's something, the other income and other expense are outside of what your business activity would be. That's usually what the other income and other expenses are. And then the last is going to be your accrual versus cash accounting. Typically businesses that use QuickBooks, I would say about 95% of the customers that we've ever worked with are on a cash basis. Again, it's like 95% is cash, maybe 5% is an accrual basis. Primarily the difference is on a cash basis, you're working with when you physically receive the money and when you physically spend the money, that's when it gets recorded in your financial statements and that's what you're reporting to the IRS. Whereas an accrual basis, you might have bills that are due maybe next year, but you put them in your system because they were incurred this year, well, you'll get tax credit for those bills this year. Likewise is the income. Many companies are, again, on a cash basis, so they would only record and report taxes on money that's actually been received and paid out.